snow, because we will not get snow, I promise you that, but we will get some rain and we will get some thunderstorm activity in some places of central Texas. Let's emphasize that. Not everybody gets rain, so do your rain dance, wash your car, do whatever little lucky charm you got, because unfortunately, I don't think all of us get rain, but this is a pretty good looking shot, a good looking setup for some of us to get rain. Here's the Lorenz 360 camera. A lot of cloud cover out there, testament to all that humidity. Temperatures in the 70s and 80s, 80 in Georgetown, 79 in Austin, upper 70s out across the hill country. I mean, everybody is very warm. We're also very humid, awaiting what's to come. Now, I think temperatures are going to be a little wonky here when it comes to where we go first and then after the cold front. We'll probably see 90s here in Austin, I would say around noontime, 1 o'clock, and then temperatures will come down. And here's why. It all has to do with when the rain comes in. I like this high resolution model the best. This is later this morning. You can see scattered showers in our northern counties along the front, and then it kind of hopscotches a little bit over the area, but still tracking some spots of moderate to heavy rain down in our southeastern counties early afternoon. Still some showers behind it in the early evening, and then we start to wind things down overnight into tomorrow morning. Still holding on to a 20% chance of spotty showers for the first few hours of Thursday, and then drier skies will take over as we get further behind that front. That being said, when it comes to rainfall, most of us between a trace and a quarter of an inch. This is not a lake filling rain. This is not a drought busting rain. This is a little drink of water for the plants outside. A few of us could get a little bit more than that, maybe half an inch to an inch, but that will be the exception and not the rule. Rain coverage after today, not great. So when it comes to what's ahead, you can expect a really nice weekend. We just got to make sure today we don't see rain too fast, any of those heavier downpours dropping a lot of rain in a short amount of time. And we'll also have to watch the wind out of those thunderstorms. The severe risk is low, but we're already popping severe thunderstorm warnings up in San Angelo. So those storms do have a little bit of a bite with it, with those gusty winds. Nice thing is, after we get past this front, the humidity stays low all the way for the rest of the 7-day forecast. So it is going to be a little bit bumpy over the next 12 to 24 hours with some hit and miss rain, with some hit and miss thunderstorm activity, gusty winds, low flood threat, highs early in the low 90s, and then we fall to the low 70s by tonight. Outside of a few spotty showers tomorrow, I think tomorrow afternoon looks really nice with sunshine and highs in the lower 90s. By the way, 89 is average, so we at least get closer to that average for the rest of the week as well. We'll take those lower 90s through the weekend into next week as well. Good amount of sunshine both Saturday and Sunday, and look at these overnight lows, mid to upper 60s, actually falling a couple degrees short of average as we get into the weekend as well. Erica?
All right, thanks.
And today we are talking about a very interesting and distinct phenomena called the Fujiwhara effect.
Yeah, named after a legendary meteorologist from the Japanese Meteorological Agency. This regards two cyclonic vorticities or tropical systems, and it's sort of a phenomenon where these two systems can either merge, they can rotate. Basically, one always wins out, but it's definitely a complicated forecast when you have two that are pretty close to each other in terms of strength and position.
For sure. More often than not in the tropics here, but with these vortices, they could be two lows, like two troughs that we have these low pressure systems even over land spinning.
Definitely.
A little bit more rare, but you're going to hear this a lot this week because of what we got going on in the Atlantic.
That was the biggest reason why I was like, we should do a recap on this, because this is going to be regarding, in this perspective, the tropics. So 3 scenarios here. The first one is you look at the counterclockwise flow. These can rotate around each other. These being tropical storms, depressions, doesn't matter. Hurricanes, it just has to have that cyclonic vorticity. That second option, they can merge. Not what we want, right?
Right, yeah. And sometimes hard to even get two storms that close to each other to do this, because hurricanes or tropical storms, any sort of tropical system, they're competitive. They're competing for energy. And sometimes when you have, winds up in the higher elevations being blown off of one storm, it interferes with the organization of another. So it's not like this is very common, because the farther apart these storms, the happier they are. So when they do get closer together, either they'll spin around each other if they're not too close, or they'll merge, like we said, worst case scenario. Yeah,
and then there's the option where they do separate, which can get grabbed onto a trough, or it gets steered with wind shear. The atmosphere is not always 50-50, so the merging is very rare, but typically it's either the options 1 or 3. The separated option 2 can cause a forecast complication. don't typically show weather maps here. We know we just captured this, but I wanted to put a perspective of these two waves that aren't even named yet. So it's not like we're saying this is going to happen, but the closer they start to steer with the high pressure to the east and the low pressure to the west, we could see some sort of action off the North Carolina coast.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's important to note too is in the grand scheme of weather forecasting, this is pretty micro scale. I mean, the Fujiwhara effect and even these storms as a whole aren't necessarily something that some of our bigger computer models can even pick up days in advance. So we kind of have to wait until we're, 2-3 days out for our high resolution data to come in and spit us out a scenario before we start to even entertain the idea of a Fujiwhara effect or a merge or a separation.
Yeah, it just shows the importance of getting the National Hurricane Center's forecast, right? Because these computer models really struggle just even opening up social media. Today I saw multiple potential scenarios of this somehow merging and barreling up toward New York. I mean, obviously these aren't even formed yet. And this one on the left, 30% chance, that's low in the next 2 days. So once they form, we'll have to wait and see. Although the one on the right side of the screen closer to you has probably a higher chance of having strength. And if it taps into the one on the left, that could be a little interesting.
I believe this one's an invest now. If you'll notice right underneath the flash of the L, when it becomes that invest, that means
there's another one too.
Yeah, that's what I had thought that earlier, and that was brand new within the last hour. Both of those got that area investigation, because what made me think of it was the data. Hurricane hunters now can fly through these. Once they're given that invest designation, we can now get even better data with the hurricane hunters that are going to fly through these things.
So, a lot of updates to come.
Yeah, a lot of updates to come. As always, make sure you can find those updates online at KXAN.com.